Tell us what's been happening, Kerry.
Well, I went to turn the master switch on and it broke. So, didn't have any pliers in the car, but we had a spanner and I managed to get that over the end of the broken bit in the switch, and we've just got the power on so we can actually use the boat. So.
It's always a good start.
We're good to go.
Yeah, boy. Well, welcome back. It is a gorgeous day out here and I've got Kerry Flowers with me today. He's kindly invited me to come out on his friend's boat, and we're out on the west coast. This is a mission we have been talking about for a long time, and just so happens we have got a stunning forecast for it. We've got a 0.7 meter swell, which is good enough to dive out here, and we have got a pearler of a day to do it. So we've just anchored up and the water's looking very tasty. So we're gonna get suited up, jump in, hopefully find some crayfish, maybe find some paua. But yeah, let's get stuck into it. Woo! See you there. Well, welcome back. It's 2024 now, and this was filmed back in 2023, so it's taken me a bit of time to get around to editing it. But here we are, we're out on the west coast, and I was fortunate for Kerry to take me along to one of the spots he's dived in the past, and as you can see, this was perfect crayfish territory. Lots of big boulders and cracks for these crays to hide under. Found a nice boulder here. As some of you will know, out on the west coast here in New Zealand, we don't really get the best visibility. Funnily enough, this was a good day for it, but as you'll see, it's quite murky in the water. So the technique that I'm using to stay locked onto rocks and holes and places where I find crayfish is to just leave my gun down there, and that way when I'm up on the surface I can simply follow my gun rope down to the gun, which is where the rock and hopefully the crayfish are. However, on this dive, as you'll see, this rock was pretty empty, no one was home, but it looked like a likely spot for crayfish to hide in. No one home? Oh yeah. Might have been softy. It didn't take us long, however, to get onto some crays, and as you'll see here, the crays on the west coast aren't very shy. These ones are right out in the open. Well, not out in the open, but they're not tucked up in their cracks like you usually see on the east coast. Here's the first cray for the day. That was an easy grab, and while I was here I figured I may as well grab the second one. So a nice double from this dive, and back up to the surface to check these guys out. That's a bloody nice bug you got, bro.
No, it's not too bad. The first one that I missed was probably bigger.
True.
Yeah.
Shit. This one's actually a little on the soft side. I'm gonna chuck it back. Alright, out of the water from the first dive, and it's been pretty damn productive so far. We've only been in the water for about 20 or 30 minutes, and this is how we're going so far. Kerry's got this beautiful big buck here. We've got a few other reds to go with it. So yeah, West Coast diving certainly living up to its reputation. But now we are going to move in a bit closer, have a look around for some Paua. The crayfish limit is 3 each, so we can get 6 in total, and Kerry's got a birthday coming up where he needs some crays for, so probably get another couple of crays hopefully, grab us some Paua, and then head back in. But yeah, so far so good. So the day was off to a really good start. We had a few crayfish on board the boat, and now we're moving on to Paua. Now, as you'll see here, the technique I'm using to remove these Paua from the rocks is to simply bump them off with my hand. It's probably one of the better ways to go, because if they're undersized you can put them back. I haven't included all the videos of me getting Paua from this day because it gets a bit repetitive, but yeah, fair to say there was no shortage of them around here, and they're pretty good size too. As we were looking for Paua, Kerry spotted this awesome nest of crayfish. There were some really big ones in there, and as he had already gathered enough crayfish for the day, he let me have a go at grabbing a few of them. We had 2 left to take, so I went in, got the biggest one I could see with my right hand, showed that off to the camera. That was a really nice crayfish. And then I had a look around, I was looking for one more. Kerry said there was a really big one in there, and I don't think in the end we actually got it, but I still managed to get a nice second one, which topped our catch up to 6, which was our limit for the day. Most of the crayfish we found on this dive were just by themselves, or there were only 2 or 3 of them, so it was really cool to see quite a big nest of them in here. There was probably a good dozen of them hiding in that crack, but yeah, we just went for the ones out the front.
I thought this one was bigger, that's why I grabbed it. I think that one looks bigger. There was a real big buck in there before. Yeah. I just wondered whether it's further up the crack.
Having grabbed about half a dozen Paua at the stage, I was getting quite comfortable with the size, and these 2 were definitely some of the bigger ones that I saw that day, which is why I went in to remove them from this rock with my knife. I wouldn't usually use that technique of removing Paua, but I was pretty comfortable that these ones were going to be well over limit, which they were. So those 2 were added to the catch, and I went back down and found another couple of really nice sized ones, so those came off the rocks and went home with us too. There was this massive school of trevally hovering around me as I was looking for those Paua, which was quite a cool sight to see. And there's my final Paua for the day, I think. I ended up getting my 10 daily limit, and that wrapped up the dive session, and we headed home afterwards. Well, we are back at the ramp after a very successful morning out on the water. It was epic doing a proper West Coast dive mission for the first time. I've been out once or twice before, but it's always been a bit rough. But today we just had the most stunning conditions. Visibility was great, the swell was right down, and there was no shortage of crayfish or Paua. Kerry and I have got ourselves a nice haul of crays, got a bucket load of crayfish and Paua going back to family and friends. So really can't complain with how that one's panned out. But I think I'm going to wrap up things here. Thanks for watching the video, and I'll catch you on the next one.